916,445 square kilometers of immense natural wealth. A land whose transformation into the center of a corrupt system, what some call a narco-state, defies easy explanation. Venezuela. And at its head, one man, Nicolas Maduro. Is he the legitimate president of a sovereign nation, or the head of a criminal enterprise? To understand this, we need to look behind the scenes. Deep in the heart of Venezuela lies the state of Aragua, where the Tocarón prison stands. Officially a place of punishment, it is in reality the cradle of one of Latin America's most dangerous gangs. The gang's origins are as unassuming as they are bizarre. A failed railway project in 2005. On the abandoned construction sites, local gangs run rampant, extorting business owners for protection money. From this chaos, a name is born: Tren de Aragua, the Aragua train. A few years later, inside prison walls, the local gang grows into a transnational organization, unlike anything Venezuela had ever seen before. At its head are Hector Rustenford Guerrero Flores, known as Niño Guerrero, along with his close confidants, Johan Jose Guerrero, alias Johan Patricia, and Larry Amori Alvarez Nunez, alias Larry Changa. Under their leadership, the prison's roughly 7,000 inmates seize control, turning the Tocarón prison into a state within a state. This was all made possible by a policy of the Chavez government. As long as the prison bosses kept the peace, the state simply looked the other way. Niño Guerrero, Johan Patricia, and Larry Changa exploited this power vacuum to lay the foundation for Tren de Aragua's rise. Tocarón transforms into a parallel universe. Restaurants, a nightclub, a swimming pool, even a private zoo behind bars. Luxury in the midst of misery. While the state crumbled on the outside, the Tren reigned on the inside. From within the walls of Tocarón, the gang begins to extend its reach. The San Vicente neighborhood in Maracay soon falls under their control. Other gangs forge non-aggression pacts with the Tren because no one dares to defy them. In 2015, Larry Changa Alvarez escapes with a mission: to expand the gang's territory. He succeeds, establishing a new base of operations in Chile and building networks for human trafficking, drug smuggling, and money laundering. He buys fast food restaurants to launder the money, financing new atrocities with the profits. Starting in the mid-2000s, Venezuela's economic crisis opens new doors for the gang. Millions of Venezuelans flee, and for the Tren, they are a resource. Those who want to cross the borders must pay. Those who don't, disappear. Human trafficking, forced prostitution, extortion. The gang transforms suffering into profit. Soon, cells emerge in Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, and Brazil. The pattern is the same everywhere. First the migrant routes, then the cities, then the underworld markets. Violence is their calling card, and a major thorn in the side of the United States begins to grow. The gang becomes a symbol of the crime that threatens to enter the country, along with innocent migrants. A state on the brink. As the Tren grows, Venezuela sinks deeper into crisis. After Chavez's death in 2013, his party ally, Nicolas Maduro, assumes the presidency. But the country is reeling. Hyperinflation, protests, empty supermarkets, and widespread corruption. For the government, it's a convenient arrangement to simply give the prison bosses free rein. Order behind bars, no matter the price. But this policy of convenience allows Tocarón to become a state within a state. The Tren grows unchecked, extending its lines of power far beyond the prison walls. Finally, in 2023, facing international pressure, the government strikes back. 11,000 soldiers storm Tocarón. They find swimming pools, bars, and a zoo, proof of just how completely the state had lost control. Maduro declares victory, but the truth is a bitter one. The gang's leaders are already long gone. The continent under control. Chile, Brazil, Colombia, everywhere the trend leaves a bloody trail. Kidnappings, torture, murder. In Colombia, it vies with the ELN guerrilla group for control of smuggling routes. In Chile, the gang is linked to the assassination of a political dissident. Authorities describe it as a franchise of violence. Its cells adapt like chameleons, focusing on prostitution in one area, cybercrime in another, and illegal mining elsewhere. The message is always the same: total control through fear. Venezuela's crisis has long been more than just an internal affair. Ever since Chavez declared the United States an enemy, an overt Cold War has been underway. Under Maduro, the conflict escalates: sanctions, oil embargoes, and international isolation. As the gang grows more powerful, Washington discovers a new argument to use against Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. In 2024, the US government designates Tren de Aragua as a transnational criminal threat. Bounties are issued for its leaders and sanctions are imposed. With the return of Donald Trump to the White House, the situation intensifies. In 2025, he declares the Tren a terrorist organization. A US airstrike reportedly sinks one of the gang's speedboats, 11 dead. For Washington, it's a victory in the war on drugs. For Caracas, it's a farce, a setup, a threat. The battle lines are drawn. Washington sees a new global menace. Caracas calls it imperialist propaganda. Russia and China demonstratively stand behind Maduro. Are we perhaps witnessing the next flashpoint between world powers? The Venezuelan tragedy is also a human one. Over 7.7 million people have fled the country. Many fall into the hands of smugglers along the way, or directly into the clutches of Tren de Aragua. The Darien Gap, a jungle region between Colombia and Panama, becomes a deadly trap. Women disappear, men are blackmailed, and bodies are left behind as a warning. In Chile, Ecuador, and Peru, the gang's crimes create waves of xenophobia. Entire migrant communities fall under general suspicion. In the United States, Tren de Aragua becomes a symbol during the election campaign for an alleged invasion across the southern border. Facts and fear begin to blur, and suddenly, a gang from Venezuela becomes a domestic political battlefield in the most powerful country in the world. What remains is a grim picture. Tren de Aragua is no ordinary cartel. It is a product of state collapse, a parasite on migration, and a pawn in geopolitical hostilities. Some experts call it the most disruptive criminal organization in Latin America. Others warn that it is not a drug superpower like the Mexican cartels, but a hydra, adaptable, brutal, and difficult to grasp. Whether through military strikes, sanctions, or police operations, nothing suggests that it will disappear anytime soon. Because the fertile ground remains: poverty, displacement, and state failure. Tren de Aragua is more than a gang. It is a symbol of a tragedy where crime, politics, and human suffering are ominously intertwined. What began as a joke about a failed railway project has evolved into a power that destabilizes entire countries. And while Washington and Caracas find new weapons in an old conflict, it is the people who pay the highest price. Those who flee, those who hope, and those who are ultimately crushed in the gears of the train from Aragua. Does Washington truly only want to stop drug and human trafficking? Is it really just about uprooting a gang, or is there more to it? Because Venezuela is sitting on a treasure of immeasurable value. The largest oil reserves in the world, even more than Saudi Arabia, along with vast amounts of natural gas, huge gold deposits, and rare minerals like coltan. So, is the fight against crime a genuine act of protection, or merely a pretext to gain access to these riches? Will we ever know the truth? Perhaps never. But one thing remains: the conflict between the United States and Venezuela. It is a battle for power and resources, and for the future of an entire continent.